We start today's video straight after the whole paid parking situation from my last video. I decided to pick up outside that whole area just so we don't get stuck again. I actually set the pickup spot halfway down this drop-off area here, but Waymo seems to have other ideas and stops on the road there. Let's get inside.
Heading to the Broad.
And the first thing it does is proceed right down that drop-off area I wanted to be picked up in. Never mind. As you just heard, we're headed to the Broad, so we should hopefully see lots of interesting situations downtown, especially as we're nearing rush hour. The car's first challenging situation of the day is this stop sign. We have 4 lanes of traffic coming at us from either side, so all we can really do is wait for a gap to appear. And there we go. Nice and assertively done. Up next we have another stop sign situation, this time with a 4-way. We come to a complete stop, and despite the other cars still rolling, we take our turn and proceed straight through. Nicely done. Coming up now, we have a situation that was handled incredibly smoothly, despite others around us being a little unpredictable. This metro bus turns in front of us, and the car to our right decides that they don't have the patience and shoots the gap, as you just saw. Waymo doesn't even flinch, and just continues its steady acceleration. And while patiently waiting at our light, we see another Waymo I-Pace pull up to our left. This is usually a rare sight in LA, especially downtown, but it's awesome to see more cars on the road, as wait time can only decrease from here. The next part of our drive has so much going on. We change into this bus lane as if we're making a turn, giving room for this cyclist. But if you look at the display, we don't actually need to turn right here, and the car isn't planning on doing so. We seem to have just used that turn/bus lane to overtake some traffic. Not sure how legal that is, but it just jumped out as a little strange to me. And now immediately afterwards, take a look at this car on our right trying to turn into traffic. The second the light turns green, this car barges straight in front of the Waymo, which waits patiently for their shenanigans, giving them enough room to pull into our lane. Nicely and safely handled. And I just wanted to quickly highlight this ballsy lane change with a car approaching from behind. The precise LiDAR measurement of that tight gap is really showing through here. And as we approach our first destination, we can see just how well the car is able to track the intent of pedestrians. We proceed straight through as the car knows that they won't make it onto the crosswalk before we do. Nice split-second decision. The car's about to pull over for the first time this ride. Let's see how it does. Nicely squeezed in there. More than enough room for the bus to pull out, and still behind the line for the crosswalk.
You're here. Please make sure it's clear before exiting.
And as soon as we pull away, we have a busy crosswalk to contend with. There's a flashing red, so we come to a full stop and treat it like a stop sign. Before Waymo has to negotiate it by itself, the light turns green and we can go straight through. And with some editing magic to skip the uneventful parts, we're already approaching our second drop-off. On our left, this car is slowly edging out, but the Waymo car doesn't react, since there's no real need to here. And now we take a quick left, while the Waymo driver tries to find a place to safely pull over at our destination, which is immediately on our right.
You're here. Please make sure it's clear before exiting.
Nicely done. Not blocking the bike lane, and tucked in here in a parking spot right outside my destination. Let's continue. We're headed to Little Tokyo, which was a little bit interesting last time, so let's see what we see today. Up next we have something that most LA drivers definitely do not do, but absolutely should. The light turns green, but there's no room for us on the other side. The car patiently waits for it to clear, allowing traffic to turn in front of us, and overall making LA traffic that bit better. Kudos to Waymo for this one. Coming up now, we have some construction going on, along with a closed lane. Let's see how the Waymo driver handles it. Beautifully done, following everyone else and signalling to move across. Very, very human-like behaviour. Right here, as we approach this intersection, we can see this bus come from our right to in front of us. The Waymo driver becomes very cautious when it changes lanes, as it's not quite sure when it will move over to the right fully. The second we have enough room though, it's happy to continue forwards, and we do so to wait correctly in the right position at the light. In this next part of the drive, we see an awesome example of superhuman-like behaviour. The light turns green, but the car in front of us doesn't move. The Waymo pulls forward a little, letting them know it's time to go, and they do so. This is much friendlier than a honk, and seemed to work, so overall, great job. We're now approaching our final stop, Little Tokyo. The car stops for this crosswalk, and people start to cross. The light then changes to a flashing red, meaning we are allowed to proceed after a full stop, which we've already done at this point. The Waymo driver decides to slowly edge forward, making progress, and putting us in a perfect position to take advantage of this gap.
We're gonna stop
You're
here.
here.
We've now made the most awkward pullover yet, blocking half the lane, so I better jump out quickly so it can pull away. So what would I grade the car for this ride? I'll give the Waymo driver a B+. The driving was perfect, other than that strange lane change into that bus lane. The pullovers, on the other hand, some were very questionable, like the one you just saw, and others were pretty good. Room for improvement, but still a solid and safe drive. Thank you so much for watching. If you like all things autonomous vehicles like I do, consider liking and subscribing so you don't miss future Waymo drives, and Tesla FSD ones too. I hope to see you all again in the next video.